again. Okay.
Hey, so welcome back. And one of the things I realized that is if we don't have a good self-worth and good self-esteem, what's going to happen with our money? We're not going to have it. We're going to let it go. We're going to give it away. We're going to spend it. I've done that myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I remember at one time I just so didn't want to work. I just wanted the easy life. And then I got involved in some bad investments. And I created more debt than when I started. So instead of, you know, 350,000, now it's at 500,000.
Wow.
And I thought, my gosh, you know, what a lesson. And my other awareness is that if we are able to create a plan, which I want to do today, and be able to really be present to it, be able to work it in our consciousness, the areas that we need to shore up, or maybe some of our dreams that we want to create, that's all going to happen. And if we don't get clear about it, if we don't have compassion and self-compassion about what we've chosen or what we've done in the past, and let's say maybe, you know, you're in great shape, and maybe you have fantastic relationship, you're doing everything right, you're doing everything that Susan Ormond and Dave Ramsey and everybody tells you to do. But is there something that you could create and you can do in order to create more joy, more happiness, and maybe have a goal toward that? So one of the things that I'm going to pass out to you, and we're going to pass these out in groups, is this is creating a financial plan, but it's looking at it. So if you already have it, it may open you up. Yes, that's, so if you could pass this, thank you. And as you go, we go through this, and parts of it we'll go through, and part of it we're going to keep it, you know, because if somebody doesn't have a debt or they don't have credit card debt, we're going to move past that. But the very first part is looking at, you know, you're looking at the major components of a healthy financial plan. So, you know, a lot of the financial planners I used to work with and a lot of these money gurus, they talk about having different things done. And the very first thing they always tell you is, what is your cash flow? And what do you have to do as far as budget, looking at your bills, looking at everything? Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen?
You'll just spend indiscriminately.
Yeah, you're going to spend, and without knowing and without having a plan, how can you create that abundance to come into us without having the plan? You know, maybe Julie, you know, want to buy a horse, or maybe you guys want to, I don't know, go on a great vacation. And so in here, within this paperwork, is also how to save for it, how to budget for it, create that plan in order for it to happen. And I thought, my gosh, I wish I would have read all this stuff years ago, but we always come to the place where we need to be. And maybe we needed those lessons. Maybe we had to lose our money. Maybe we had to do bad investments. You know, it's really to help us to be present to what is so now. So with this, go through, and a lot of what they say is that the number one is that you have to have a written cash flow plan. So that means you're going through your income sources, you're going through all of your bills, much like, you know, one of you said in here. And as we're doing that, we're looking at exactly what we're spending. When I first came to the center, that's exactly what I did. I looked at the cash that was coming in at the time, and then I had to look at what all the bills were, and I had to look at the debt of the loans that were here when I got here. So from that place was my foundation, and I laid that foundation. Then from there, I could create a plan. And then I was able to take the loans, refinance them. What a concept. Then I was able to look at the debt, and at the time, the gal in the office, she and I would keep looking at and moving around what's expensive, what's going on here, and then see how we can save money every month. It's valuable. And we can still do that every time now, because it isn't that you find a great deal, because there's another great deal. And there's another way to save money. And what do I want to do with that money? That's another thing to be present to. What do I want to do with it? I have a great financial plan, but wait a minute. Maybe I have another dream that I haven't thought about in a really long time. So that's the major thing about doing the written cash flow plan. The second thing is a will or estate plan. So anybody, do y'all have wills in here? Okay.
That's
And-
been on my mind.
Oh,
to
right,
do.
okay, that's why I'm doing this. I'm gonna take you through piece by piece. If you don't have a will, I'm gonna encourage you, action needed, get one. Research it. You know, you can find it online, get started, do a poor man's will, you know, do it. And then that way, because what's the fear? What's the fear?
Well,
I'm gonna die if I create one.
yeah.
That is it's crazy. What was your fear?
It's not, there isn't, I don't have a fear
It's
about
just
it,
like
I just
not
haven't done
take-
it.
yeah,
But-
just-
But now it
it's out
feels
of the-
like I just turned 56, you know, I probably
Yeah,
need to
I
step up and do it.
probably need that.
Well, yeah, it's to think about dying and then what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And I think that if you have a will, you have to have property or something. And I'm like, I just rent.
Absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely
Oh, okay.
not.
I thought you had to
What
have.
would you want to do with your things? What would you
Well,
want to do with your clothing?
I
mean,
just figured that my son would get it and he would.
then you need a will, and it
yeah.
all goes to him.
Yeah.
So what she was saying is that we need it because we want the direction, the plan.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's going to happen. It may not necessarily be so if we are out of the picture and we're not here in physical form to orchestrate that and to make that happen.
Wow.
So that's number one. So a little check mark, ladies.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done it.
Yeah.
So that's that estate plan. The other thing is, do you all have a living will? Do you have the plan? In the hospitals now, it wasn't like this, but now they actually have the paperwork there that they will have you fill that out. The living will, where if something happens, what are your desires? So that's in the hospitals now, but it's good to download one, have it, and give it to somebody. Because if somebody's going to be around in your life and you're in a coma, don't you want to control what happens to your body?
You need to make sure
Yeah.
people know
What is that,
what
a directive?
your
What your
wishes are.
What's
Right.
it called? It's
What
called
are your
the
wishes?
It's called advanced directive.
advanced directive.
Okay.
And like Kaiser
Right.
makes you do that.
Yep.
Yeah. And the
You have to
hospital,
have
they
a little
do.
check mark. Is that on file?
Yes.
And that's awesome.
Yes. And I think it's awesome because it's making us look at things that we don't want to think about. And that's what it is, isn't it?
But it's even more unthinkable that something should happen to me.
Yes.
And that I would be put on a respirator and live in a
Forever.
vegetative state until, hell freezes over. I don't want that.
No, and that's exactly why you do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why you look at it. What we're doing is presencing a lot of the things that a nice little financial planner will say to you. And that's what they're going to do. Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? I'm going through the checklist. And we're not going to get through all of this, but we will get through a lot of it because it's something that if you don't have this one, you may need that one. Okay? So the estate plan is, creating your wealth, and then we'll get into that in a minute. But what I love is, this man, Dave Ramsey, gives you baby steps. Remember the movie What About Bob? Baby steps. He was a guy that went to a therapist. You never saw that?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Get it.
Anyway, so he goes, and Richard Dreyfuss is he's the what do you call it?
The therapist.
Therapist. And he says, baby steps out the door. Baby step to
Yes.
the elevator. Baby. So you know what we're doing? We're baby stepping. We're baby stepping our finances. And that's really what we have to do. I had to turn that off, Roxy. I guess it doesn't matter, or does it?
Huh?
My mic.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's how I pick you up with the thing.
Okay.
So you do have to be on
Okay,
mic,
so I
sorry.
flipped it back on. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, so that's that piece. We'll get to it. And then debt reduction, the things that all of these money, educators, gurus, whatever you want to call them, say is to pay off your debt. But I'm going to backstep a little bit. One area that I know for me, and you can chime in about this, but if you don't have an emergency fund of money that's readily available, you have to have that. It's not put in a mutual fund, it's not,
It's liquid.
it's
and it's 6
liquid
months
and
worth
it's
of
accessible.
expenses.
Okay, well,
6 months.
this is baby step one. So the first baby step is, and let me tell you, and I want you to just feel this for a minute. You don't have any money right now, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, whatever you're doing. Let's say you are, and if you aren't, that's great, good for you. But if you are, then it's feeling into, if I had $500 or $1,000 liquid as a emergency fund, how would you feel?
More secure.
Yeah, more secure. And what else? If you're paycheck to paycheck, what's going to happen? Then you're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. And then if you have a car repair, if there's a hospital emergency, I don't know, any situation that can happen, there's no money to fund it. Meantime, it takes you off your budget/spending plan.
Yeah.
And then you're thrown off track, and then there you go again. You're in that vicious cycle of not creating it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if all of you have it or not. You know, do you? Does everybody in here have one? You have 500,000 liquid you could do? If not, check that off. And it's really about, even if it's $5 a week, you do it. If it's, you're at another level, maybe somebody's gonna do $100 a week. I don't know. It's gonna be whatever you need to do to create it. So that's the one baby step, because I know for me, when I was struggling changing careers, having that little chunk of money made me feel, okay, if something happens, I'm okay. And I can continue to move forward on my plan of paying my credit cards off, or whatever the case may be, right? Or just paying my bills,
Yeah.
paying my bills. And that's a lot of it too,
Wow.
moving forward. So
How
the awakening-
revolutionary.
What was that?
I said how revolutionary. You mean an emergency fund that you don't, wow. I've never,
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard of
Comments,
this.
Pamela?
Yeah, years ago, I went to some financial course
Uh-huh.
and they said to carry $100 bill around in your
In your wallet.
And not in the regular part where you're gonna spend it,
No.
but like hidden.
Hidden.
And so in case there's something that happens,
Yes.
that you need to have cash,
Right.
you have that
Right.
available. And so this is like taking that to the next level.
It's-
So I have the 100 in my wallet.
Yes.
But knowing that I have 500 available in my checking account.
Yes.
Or 10,000 available in my money market that I could have tomorrow.
Right.
It's steps.
It's baby steps up. And, the first thing we did when I first taught spiritual economics here, when I first came here, I wasn't the minister yet, was I said, okay, every one of you, go get $100 and hide it in your wallet. And you're going to use that, number one, for emergencies, but number two, what was it really about? Consciousness.
Yeah.
I have $100. Because my daughter, I had to teach her, and there's a part in this that we have to teach our children about money. And with our kids, it's teaching them how to have cash. Forever was saying, I don't have, do you have $5? And you see people like that, don't you?
Yeah.
And we can say that.